everybody, it's the Redstone Wizard here again, bringing you another Redstone tutorial. What I got for you today is a mixed box loader that is one wide tileable. Now, what do I mean by mixed box loader? I mean each section of this can handle, doesn't matter what you put in. Yeah, it can actually, you could have different things inside of the shulker box, and it doesn't matter how full the box is, as long as all 27 slots are filled, and all 5 of these slots, and you get an extra item. It will break and replace another box and fill it in. Now, I have done a couple of these before. Now, one of them was one wide tileable, but it did have one issue that I did want to solve but was unable to, and that is I want the items to empty before it releases the rest of the items. So this one does it. So if we just cheese this a bit, if we just take these sticks, throw them in here, yeah, that looks good. And take these, throw them in there. Now it's locked. And I come up here, I'll throw a stack of sea pickles. Boom. Now it activates, breaking the box, giving us our sticks. And then putting the, well, first off, the pickles that did happen to go through the system. And now the rest of the torches that are in before it actually starts processing anything else. Now it's starting to process the other items. And like I said, it is one-to-one tileable, so this side is not affected by this side, and the one that will be here, here, none of these are affected by any of the other things. So, what do you say, guys? Let's get to building this thing. Okay, guys, we're back, and like always, everything we need to build one section of this is inside of the shulker box. Keep in mind, the more you want, the more you're going to have to put in. So, what we're going to need, and this is not necessarily precise, so to speak, but it is, you're going to need guaranteed 5 solid blocks. And 4 blocks. And it doesn't matter if they're solid or not. You're just going to need 4 blocks that you can place redstone on. I'm using glass. You can use slabs or other solid blocks. I recommend 1 transparent block for that one right there. Other than that, you can use whatever you want. You're going to need at least 1 barrel. I recommend a barrel over a dropper or a dispenser for this. 1 redstone torch, 1 dispenser, 3 droppers, 5 comparators, 3 repeaters, 1 random block, a composter, and it has to be a composter, and you need to be able to fill it with level 1, so 1 food item in. I'm going to use a cake, 1 trapdoor, 7 hoppers, 6 observers, 5 sticky pistons, and a copper bulb, plus as many shulker boxes as you want. So, I am just going to build right off of this, and yes, you can tile these. So keep that in mind. They are always, so you can have as many of these as you want inside of a system to be able to store multiple items. And yes, it doesn't worry about non-stackables either. So, first thing is, pick a spot, place a dropper going into a dispenser with a box. And it doesn't matter which direction the box is going, because you will, because all the boxes will end up breaking and they will end up getting reset, and it's actually, this is the reset they'll go through. So after we get our dropper, dispenser, shulker box, we're going to place a observer pointing towards the dispenser on top of the box, going into a transparent block with a repeater on it set to default, with a sticky piston pointing, moving the observer. Place a repeater on top of the observer, on top of the sticky piston, going towards the dropper, with a copper bulb and a piston going down, with a observer going towards the this other sticky piston. Place a random block with a comparator next to the sticky piston, which is going to read from our observer, our copper bulb, going into a solid block with a sticky piston and a observer pointing down. This is actually just so that we can control the this part of the system so it fires only once. Next, we're just going to take a hopper, put it in the back of the dropper, and if you want, you can switch out these hoppers for another way of putting in shulker boxes, but you don't have to. You can just put in straight hoppers, water streams, chest rails, straight chests. It's up to you. This is not necessary, but it does help out and make sure that when you're doing it, you keep your shulker boxes full. You have a set amount, or you have a crafter set up for it. You just keep them full. Okay, so now that we got that done, and we've got our if it box breaks, just place another one. It's fine, we can work with it. We're going to place a hopper going into the box, put a temporary block above the hopper or above and at a corner, because we're going to put a hopper going into that one. Break your temporary block and make hoppers face each other where the items will transport back and forth. This is fine. This is what we need. With a hopper going into that, a comparator going into that, then we're going to place right below the hoppers so we can pull a signal out of this bottom one directly. We're going to put a block below that with a comparator on top of the block, reading from the hopper, going into a solid block with a comparator on top of that, reading from the other hopper, going into a repeater that goes into a solid block, that goes into a redstone torch. Take your trapdoor, place it down with a sticky piston pointing up on top of the torch. Add in observers pointing up off of the trapdoor and off of the sticky piston. Place solid blocks above those observers with two droppers pointing into each other, one up top, one getting powered by the solid block that the piston is powering, and the other by the trapdoor. And throw your random block inside of the bottom dropper. Take a sticky piston, place it next to the void area above, because we're going to throw a comparator right here powering that piston. Take a composter, place it down, and put one food item in it. Take your observer, pull it from the composter. The whole point behind the observer is when the observer detects this moving, it powers. That's it. And then when it turns on, it powers again. So it's a way to control the count of this so that it will process only once. Now we need to throw a barrel with a hopper on top. And now we are done. Now, when it comes to this system, you can use multiple things to get items in. You could have something that just pushes the items all the way across. You can use water streams, ice paths. It's up to you. There is no proper way of saying you have to use this system. I prefer ice paths where you align the items just over the hoppers and you're good to go. But if you do not use them and you want to do other things, that's fine. If you're just using hopper speed, I recommend only building a single one and have a massive backlog storage. So this is designed more for speed than and items just getting put into storage to save them, and that's what you want. Now when it comes down to getting these boxes out, well, you could have a water stream, you could have hoppers below that collect and go into a simple storage. You can even just stand under here and collect them yourself. It's all up to you on what you want to do with that. Well, I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, leave a like. If you have any questions or comments, leave it down in the comment section. If it's a major issue, I recommend joining my Discord. Link that will be in the description. If you want to support me, you can subscribe. But you guys, this is the Redstone Wizard. Enjoy building.